Hello, amazing human, and welcome to Neurodivergent Bites, a podcast for neurodivergent entrepreneurs to understand systems, change the narrative about productivity, and embrace yourself for who you really freaking are. If your energy is being sucked, you're struggling to focus, or you know you need systems, but there's a disconnect for whatever reason, join your host, that's me, Karalee, along with fellow amazing humans on how being a neurodivergent entrepreneur has impacted the way they do life and business. If you're looking for bite-sized action steps, you're in the right place. Hello, amazing humans. Welcome back to Neurodivergent Bites. I am your host, Karalee, and today we're going to be talking about streamlining systems for established business owners. So an established business owner is more along the lines of been in business for years. They are known for a product, service, etc., or even have a team supporting them. Okay, so you're at a different level than starting out, right? And so the operations for this size of a business is going to look very different than someone starting out. So let's dive into the steps to start streamlining your systems and in turn, streamlining your operations. Okay. So for one, streamlining means to make simpler or more efficient. So when you're wanting to streamline, you're looking at how can I make this as simple as possible, yet as efficient as possible. This is one of the most fun parts about what I do for business owners is this piece is really hard for a lot of people because their brain just doesn't function in that manner, and that's totally fine. So that is where I come in, an operations specialist, to be able to support you in that manner. So grab a notebook, grab a pen, and I want you to start brainstorming, okay? Start thinking about the software that you use. Okay, these are things like ClickUp, maybe Vimeo, maybe Buzzsprout, whatever that is, start thinking about the softwares that you use. Does it serve what its purpose is? Like, does it actually serve how it's supposed to? And does it do it well? Okay, could it be more efficient? Right? So we're thinking about the softwares, the things that support us in running our businesses. Okay. These could also be processes, although today I'm really focusing on the softwares, but these could also be processes in which you are using. And are these systems and these softwares that you're using to help with your processes, are they actually serving you, or could they be way more efficient? Chances are they can be more efficient, but let's just start with, are they actually serving you? And are they doing what they're supposed to be doing? So your action item is to actually list each software that you use. Okay, grab a pen and paper, start listing the softwares that you use and what does it do for you? Okay, so for example, I use ClickUp as a software. What does ClickUp do for me? It helps me create a central hub for everything to go together. So, because I can link everything in, I know where to go. I keep track of all of my tasks there. It is my central hub. So what does it do for me? It helps me stay organized. It helps me be able to know what to work on each day. It helps me long-term to map out projects, right? So is it serving what it's supposed to do? Yes. Yes, it truly is. Now, could it be more efficient? Probably. I am constantly streamlining things in my business as I learn more things, as I, as I pivot, things like that. So streamlining it doesn't mean that it's a one and done thing. Just like when you are building a business, it doesn't mean that you build it once and you leave it sit. Now there's some things, we're not getting into that, but is this actually serving you? Okay. So your action items to list each software you use and what it does for you, right? Like I just gave the example of ClickUp. And I want you to also, if you're ready for it, take it a step further. Can you consolidate or eliminate any of these? Okay. Consolidate, bring them together, right? Merge them together. Or can you eliminate any of those? Maybe you're paying for something you're not really using. Okay, you can look at your bank accounts to see what you're paying for. You can look at your bookmarks and see what you have bookmarked. I just did this when I did my business audit. And I was like, oh, I'm not really using this. I don't really need this anymore. Or, I'm like, oh, I could put these two things together. Or I found a new alternative that actually served me better. But first step is actually listing it out and saying what it does for you and if you are happy with it. Okay? So next, let's talk about the team members that you have. If you're an established business, chances are you have at least one team member all the way up to however many, right? So are they being utilized as you would like? Okay, I want you to really think into how you're feeling about the team members. What they're doing for you, how they're interacting with you. Like, do you think you are utilizing them to the best of their ability? Okay. So if not, I want you to start brainstorming on how this could be more efficient. All right, just start thinking everything that you can think of when it comes to each team member, throw it down on paper and just start thinking it through. Getting your mind thinking about these things is going to ultimately help you be able to really streamline things moving forward. But you got to know where you're starting in order to know where you have to go, right? That foundation. So your action item is to list each team member and what they do for you. All right, simple. What is their title? Or what do they do specifically? Like, for example, I have a virtual assistant. What does she do for me? Right? She edits my podcast. Yes, she edits this podcast. She helps me then take this podcast and repurpose things. So essentially, she's a virtual assistant, but she has specific tasks that she does. So you can literally say what their title is, right? And mark down what they do. Does that feel good to you or does it not feel good? We can kind of go from there. If it feels good, fantastic. If it doesn't, we need to brainstorm a little bit further. And if you're ready to take that next step, list their strengths. What do they really excel at? What do they love to do, right? What do you see them doing really well for you? Can we capitalize on that essentially? Like, can we utilize that better? Okay. So there's lots of brainstorming, lots of thinking going on here. So these are the two things that I touched on today. These are just two, right? Which software isn't serving you well and which team members aren't being utilized to the best of their abilities or their strengths, right? You end up with a lot of bottlenecks if you don't have at least these two things figured out, among other things. All right. And as a reminder, bottlenecks are when things slow down significantly in your business. A business audit will identify a lot of bottlenecks. An operations audit will identify a lot of bottlenecks. Having someone that is really good at seeing, oh man, this is a really slow process. What can we do to make this more streamlined to where it's basically costing you more money to not have it streamlined than it would be to streamline it. All right. That is, we want preventative maintenance, right? We want to see it before it becomes an actual problem. All right. And in the businesses that I work with that are established business owners, I literally see bottlenecks 3 months before they become an actual problem. So if I would let them sit there, they would become a big problem for the CEO. But because I see them normally 3 months in advance, I then start putting in place different systems, processes, refining things before it even becomes a true bottleneck, right? Things don't slow down super bad. They just slow down slightly, but I'm right there catching it before it really becomes a problem. And there's so many more things that go into that, but I just wanted to kind of like refine that. If you have an operations specialist in your business or operations director, anyone that does operation stuff, like they should be able to see these bottlenecks before they become big problems, but you have to make sure that they actually have access to the actual operations of your business and that they're allowed or you guys are talking about what the input is from yourself, from their perspective, from other teammates' perspective. All of these things help prevent bottlenecks from becoming a big slowdown in your business in the future, okay? Because this affects your operations greatly, all right? When there's bottlenecks, there is tension, there is stress, there's wasted time, so many more things. So then we start, so many more things happen there. But think back, like what happens when things start slowing down in your business, right? You get really, really frustrated and stressed, and you think maybe you're doing something wrong, or you're like, have a mental breakdown. We don't want any of those things. Okay. So I'm not going to go any farther into this, but I want you to take those 2 action steps to really figure out what softwares you're using, what ones are serving you, which ones aren't, and can you streamline any of them? And then also list out each team member, what they do for you. Does it feel good? Can you utilize their strengths better? Right? Those are your 2 action steps for this week, right? And if you want to learn more, because I only covered 2 things, right? Grab my free DIY operations audit. And in that, I explore the 5 most common bottlenecks that I personally see in business. And maybe you can catch some of yours before they become big issues, or maybe implement things that you're like, oh, I didn't realize I actually did need to do that. So this will support you in streamlining all of those things along with your operations to have it more smooth sailing, right? We want a very smooth sailing ship, right? We don't want the people rowing the ship to not know what's going on, right? We want them to be working together and we want it to be super efficient. So you can also learn more about how you can work together, how we can work together to streamline your operations Okay, because there is more than just this free DIY operations audit, and you can head to theproductivityimpact.com and you can head to the work with me button at the top and really get fill out that form, really get a firm understanding of how we can work together, and we can kind of just go from there, right? So I'd love to hear from you. Head on over to IG and share with me some of your takeaways or from this episode. And if you want to learn something else too, like totally fill out in the show notes the topic request form, because I would love to be able to support you in the best way possible and really get you moving in bite-sized action steps to your next goal, right? So we're having forward momentum. And if you give me what topics you'd like to be covered, I can specifically help you be able to do that. So if you have any questions, go ahead and let me know, but bye for now. Before I wrap up today's episode, I want to thank you for joining me on this journey to empower neurodivergent entrepreneurs. I hope that you've gained valuable insights and a fresh perspective on productivity and self-acceptance. No matter where you are in your entrepreneurial journey, I'm here to support you. These transformative conversations will equip you with bite-sized action steps that you can apply immediately. Let's redefine productivity on our own terms and create a business that aligns with who we truly are. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast to receive the latest episodes and join our amazing community of neurodivergent humans. Remember, being unique is our superpower, and together we can rewrite the rules of success.